Long before there was a Bear Cove marina or barges coming in to dredge it out, this whole area on the south shore of Massachusetts was known as Bear Cove. For a short while at least. By 1635, the name was officially changed to Hingham, and for the past few hundred years, this place has done pretty well, turning itself into a fine and upstanding town. Anyone who's ever heard a weekday evening traffic report will know it for the dreaded lane drop at the Derby Street exit. But beyond that, it's a town that covers over 26 square miles of land and water, has a bustling downtown which hosts community events that tend to bring people together of all ages to share in the good times. And it still has plenty of conservation land to enjoy. For example, Weir River Farm on Turkey Hill Lane avails its 75 acres of functioning farmland and trails to the public, not only during their spring and fall festivals, but year-round. And while there may be no one else around during the winter months but a few goats, it's a great place to stop by and soak in the clear view of Boston from one of the highest points of elevation in town. Of course, in a town whose origins date back to the 1600s, there's no shortage of locations for the Historical Society to showcase as well, like the Old Ship Church Meeting House on Main Street. And yet, all of this is still just scratching the surface of what this town has to offer. For commuters and travelers, Hingham may be nothing more than a highway sign they pass driving along Route 3. But for nearly 25,000 residents, it's a place they call home, send their kids to school, and of course, go to work. So we thought we'd spend 5 days, or one work week here in the cozy South Shore town of Hingham, Massachusetts. During the 4 or 5 months out of the year when life on the water looks like this, it can be easy to forget that it can look like this during the other 7 or 8 months. And while the bathing beach may get its share of seasonal traffic, the town is better known for its beautiful harbor and the activity that takes place there. But before there's any activity in town, and sometimes before the sun has even come up, locals tend to pass through the coffee shop that may have the best views of any coffee shop around. Oh, and their coffee is pretty good too. The business that got its start as a wholesale operation being run off of a coffee trailer can now be found overlooking Bear Cove Marina, since planting its roots here on Otis Street and opening their doors to the public in December of 2011. Since then, Red Eye Coffee Roasters has been the place to be.
It's a very big part of the community here in Hingham, and we have our locals that come here every day for their coffee, and they've been coming here for years. People come here and read the paper, have their morning coffee, hang out, talk, start their day here.
And if the 3 most important elements of real estate are location, location, and location, this property meets all of those requirements, and then some.
The biggest selling point for me in Hingham was I live 30 seconds down the road. So, because when you have a business like this, there's always issues and problems that come up, and to be able to, if I'm home, come down here in literally a minute, and be here to try and fix things was a big plus to me.
For people who just want a black coffee, there's plenty of that to go around. But this place has gained a reputation for serving up some pretty specialized brews, and that requires a specialized knowledge of the product before anyone plans to just pour a cup for a knowledgeable customer base.
Sometimes people get it, and sometimes they just don't. But we try to hold on to the people that do get it, and have a passion for coffee. Everybody that prepares our coffee, for espresso drinks and whatnot, has to go through an exam before they can get on the bar.
In a relatively short amount of time, Red Eye Coffee Roasters has established itself as one of the top destinations in the area for locals. The safe assumption is that a business that has enjoyed sustained growth in its customer base has also enjoyed the financial success that comes with it. But anyone who knows Bob Weeks knows that wasn't his goal going into this endeavor.
If I was doing this for the money, I wouldn't be here right now. So it was all about the coffee and, my passion for, finding great coffees, roasting them, and sharing them with people. And, I've never thought, wow, I can make a lot of money doing this. That was never my intention.
For many of the customers here, their intention is to enjoy a little escape from the hustle and bustle of life by soaking in the sights on the other side of these windows. Me, I'll take my black coffee and enjoy those same sights from the other side of this door, out on the lookout deck. Well, this water view is great to look at for the folks that are coming out and having a coffee and muffin before they head off to work or back to the workplace. There is a segment of the population here in town for whom this waterfront is their workplace. For many adults in and around Hingham, the Maritime Center is the place where countless spring and summer mornings have been spent working on their rowing skills, rain or shine. For the high school sailing team, the day they drop their boats in the water has become the unofficial first day of spring around these parts. But regardless of the time of year, there is one constant here at 32 Summer Street in Hingham, and that's the presence of maintenance manager Joe Griffin. In the late fall and winter months, he can be found refurbishing the equipment after a season of wear and tear, and he does so almost exclusively with recycled materials.
The floats, you know, over time they deteriorate and we need to replace them. But, you know, we have two options. We could simply call in a dumpster and load up a dumpster and take them away. Or we could take a little time, dismantle them, take them apart, save all the lumber that is good, and save the hardware that is good. The cleats, those were actually taken off the float that we dismantled last fall. And even the fastening screws, they're all made with stainless steel material, a high-grade stainless steel, and they're not inexpensive. And so we do our best to save those when we take them out and reuse them for other devices that we need.
Griffin may have been spending his time in retirement a little differently had he not taken on the role as the Maritime Center's top handyman at the behest of his son, who just happens to be the sailing coach for the high school team. Now father and son, who share a love of the ocean, get more chances to meet up beyond just their family get-togethers.
You know, he's pretty much taught me everything I know about boats and sailing. And so now when I come down here, it's nice. He can, you know, we chat and, you know, we always see each other, so it works out really well.
By day, the junior Griffin works in construction, but when the spring season rolls around, he puts himself into coaching mode for these up-and-coming young sailors. And just as his father was talked into taking on his role here at the center, he too was recruited to become the leader of this sailing team.
It just happened to be from a family friend who was the old principal at Hingham High and knew of my family's background in sailing and asked if I could help out. And that's pretty much it. I've been helping out for 13 years.
Hingham High School is just one of over 80 schools in New England to field a sailing team, and the equipment doesn't come cheap. But they continue to put boats in the water year in and year out, thanks to the good people of Hingham and lots of fundraisers.
Over the last 13 years that I've been here, we've fundraised enough to get new boats, new sails, a new coach boat. You know, we get some help from the high school on our jerseys and pennies and helmets if we require them. But for the most part, yeah, we're raising all that money ourselves.
As someone who gets to be here year-round, Joe Sr. has an appreciation for all the activity here when the center is at its busiest, as well as the peaceful solitude that comes when the sailing and rowing seasons are over.
It's a lot of fun to see people pick up a skill, sailing or rowing, that will serve them their entire life, and they have a good time at it. And then as September comes and everyone heads back to school, it does quiet down, but the weather is pretty nice, and it does allow you to do things at maybe a little different pace and not have to be concerned about running into someone or some vehicle, and things get a little easier.
Recreation may be nice, but someone has to patrol these waters, particularly during the warmer months when things can get pretty busy. Since 2008, the Hingham Police Department's Harbor Division has been under the leadership of Ken Corson. In addition to being the top law enforcement agent of Hingham's waterways and shoreline, Corson, along with his team of assistant harbor masters, are also in charge of emergency services, which can include everything from search and rescue to firefighting on the waterfront. And from what we could tell during our brief visit with him, one may be hard-pressed to find anyone who loves their job as much as he does.
What's special about Hingham is its waterfront. We have a beautiful waterfront, we have some great islands, but we're part of this awesome Port of Boston, which has 26 islands that are all part of the National Historic Parks. It's really just a great boating destination. There's a lot to do here, and it's just fun to be part of all the activities that are going on here.
After college, Corson seemed destined to go to medical school, but a change of heart and love of the ocean brought him back to his hometown, where he served as an assistant harbor master starting in 2000 and went through the police academy. Since becoming harbor master in 2008, Corson added even more value to his role in the department by earning his law degree.
I do practice law, maritime law. I do more big ship type stuff, but being an attorney has also given me the ability to analyze things, especially in the maritime domain, in a different way, and brings added value to what I do here in the town of Hingham.
While much of the work that's done with the law degree is implemented from behind a desk, the very boat that we were using to tour the harbor when we met up was tangible evidence of its value.
I do a lot of grant writing. I brought in over $6 million in grants while I've been harbor master here for the last 10 years or so, and that's really been great for the community. We get most of our boats and equipment all comes through grants, and we get a lot of other grants to do different work with shellfish. That's another aspect of my job, is I'm also the shellfish constable. So we write grants to do different things with studying the waterfronts, the tide changes, the sea level rises, and all those things through grants.
The old newspaper headline, "Local Boy Makes Good," seems to fit Corson to a T. His positive demeanor, can-do attitude, and friendly personality make him easy to root for. And as it turns out, it's those very character traits that come in handy when the work week goes from 40 hours in the off-season to nearly 90 hours during the peak months.
I live here, I work here, I serve here, and I'm always here. So whenever something needs to be, whenever there's a problem in the water, I'm here.
That sense of duty to and love for the town of Hingham are sentiments that are even shared by those who may not have been born and raised here like Ken Corson, but have, over time, made this town their home.
Being here 25 years, I've just got to know a lot of people. I really feel like I'm part of the community, and it's a sweet, beautiful little town. So I'm very lucky to be here.
It's a community where all the citizens really, I think, work to keep Hingham kind of on the forefront of towns in the area. Very active, very involved community that's here. So it's a nice place to live.